Game number 1 is getting underway right now. These guys are ready to fight it out and find out who's getting a better footing in the playoffs.
Yeah, and as much as he's tied in a three-way spot for the last 2 spots, he still, Ek0p is, in a must-win situation.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He has to, I mean, I think at this spot, he needs to get 3 wins on the board.
And look at JAB. If you can't beat him, join him.
He did it yesterday. He played Grim Patron in game number 1. But, Zoo can actually be a little bit tricky for this deck at times. If there's no Fiery War Axe or early Deathbite, they can easily run away with the game.
Saying that, JAB has a Fiery War Axe and a coin with a Deathbite in his hand,
well,
so he's got both of the things you just said.
Semantics.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I'm just messing with you.
JAB, this is about as good of a start as you can possibly hope for. He's got Fiery War Axe. He's able to get on board with Armor Smith. Turn 3, he can cycle and pad his life total, and then follow that up with Deathbite. And Ek0p's hand, this is an aggressive deck that's now life tapping on turn 2. This is the last spot he wanted to be in.
Also, I think this might be Control Warrior, and with Shield Maiden, then yeah, I'm 100% convinced here. I saw the Big Game Hunter in the Shield block, and I was like, maybe, he's a Big Game Hunter in his deck, but the Shield Maiden 100% means this is Control Warrior. This is something we haven't seen from JAB too much the entire season, like actual dedicated control deck.
Wow, and the hits just keep coming, man.
Yeah, great top deck here for JAB. I mean, he was going to be able to play Shield block if he wanted to this turn anyway, but...
Yeah, but this is a spot actually where Ek0p, he does have Void Terror along with Power Overwhelming, but he's actually likely to get punished for this one because JAB's got a Big Game Hunter in his hand. It's very rare that Big Game Hunter is useful versus a Zoo deck, but this is the one spot where that can be the case.
When it is, though, it's backbreaking. It's always on something like this, a gigantic Void Terror.
It's because the 4-2 body contests so much of what's happening on the board, too. It's not necessarily just because you're blowing up a 7-8. Obviously, that's a big contributing factor, but the fact that you now have an extra body on board that's going to help fight for your late game.
I mean, yeah, look how good this board is for JAB right now. Not only does he kill the 7-8, but I mean, yeah, he gets to trade here this way if he wants to as well. But hit this 4-2 to immediately contest the 4-4 if he wanted to.
Yeah, I don't want to call this game over before it's over, but this is looking awful for Ek0p.
Yeah, you never know. Ek0p could have a flurry of draws here later in the game that really get into him. I mean, if he gets Dr. Boom on 7, and then if God forbid Mal'Ganis comes out uncontested, then it's a way for Ek0p to win. But we're talking about some pretty big ifs here.
Yeah, some very big ifs. JAB's going to have Deathbite into 2 Shield Maidens and a Sylvanas. Like, Ek0p's got to get damage done here, and with this kind of hand, this just isn't working.
Yeah, I mean, this Doomguard's like not even that great at this point. JAB's going to be able to fight it really well. Ek0p's going to be able to develop his board a little bit here, but again, he's fighting a losing battle here. Defender of Argus will be able to, recoup some of this, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, no question Deathbite here for JAB. And honestly, I don't even have a problem really with punching face with this Deathbite. Every single time that you chip away at his life total, that is less cards he's going to draw overall.
Yeah, I like this trade from JAB here. Just keep your life total as high as possible.
Yeah. I don't mind trading with the Abuse Sergeant either. This does buy you a lot of extra life, and as far as he's concerned, buying extra time right now is the only thing he needs to do.
Now, if you're Ek0p here, do you just play Doomguard and just start getting busy?
If you're Ek0p, you think you sort of lament your early game of turn 2 life tap and then nothing, and then getting your Void Terror Big Game Hunter.
When this deck has the life tap on 2 and doesn't really have anything going on, it looks really bad. Yeah. But I love this deck actually. It's one of the better ones where it just scales so well and fights so many fights so well.
And this is the miserable turn that he just has to make. He needs to get anything on board to try to get some damage rolling. And Defender of Argus is just a 2-3.
Yeah,
JAB. This is like the piloted Shredder drop that happens, and he's playing it first.
Yeah, usually you're like, what just happened? Did a piloted Sky Golem die? Like, why is there just a Defender of Argus in play? But,
well, now there's just Sylvanas in play.
Ek0p does have an owl to take care of this, but again, we're kind of grasping at straws as to why plays are good here.
Yeah, it's pretty darn rough. Honestly, he does have ways to start climbing out of this, but it's just going to take time. Especially if he has to use if he decides to use Power Overwhelming here, then he's losing just even more push potential.
Yeah, and you know what? Seeing this from JAB, this is kind of like what you had said at the top of the show. Whenever he has a losing streak, you see him make adjustments, and I love this from him. If something is going wrong in your game, take a look at yourself, figure out what it is.
Yeah.
How can I change it? What can I do to get better?
Yeah, well, Ek0p's going to try to change his scenario a little bit here too. Abusive Sergeant, Flame Imp, and then Defender of Argus is great against a 1-charge Deathbite. So if there's a spot where he can start clawing through this, it's right now.
Yeah, JAB with no actual removal spells in his hand yet.
Armor Smith's no good here either.
He's just going to have to control this board, but a Shield Maiden, pretty good one here.
Yeah, but again, this is Ek0p's really his one chance to get back into this. Doomguard is going to sweep out either 5 points of life or take care of the Shield Maiden.
Plus, he can just play this Imp Gang boss before the Doom Hour. Great draw for him here.
I have to, you know, honestly, as much as I hate trading in this matchup, I think this is one spot where he needs to take care of the Shield Maiden because he has to get repetitive damage out of his board.
Now, here's the thing. Do you use the Doom Guard to do so, or do you trade in 2 of your minions?
I use the Doom Guard here because I want the body to be able to sit here, maybe contest a Sludge Belcher, another Shield Maiden. You know,
yeah, you want to keep the 5-power body around you.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's clear that Jab doesn't have a lot of big answers to this. You know, maybe he's got Baron Geddon. That would be about the worst case scenario. But I don't mind pushing the damage either. You know, the fact that you're getting a ton of value out of this is totally fine. But pushes damage, now he gets punished.
Yeah, big pickup here for Jab. Oh wow.
It can't get any better than that. Those are like back-to-back miracle draws right now.
Yeah, he could destroy almost this entire board if he wants to.
I don't even think he needs to.
Yeah, he doesn't really need to. I'm saying he's going to armor up, shield block with Armor Smith here. I'm sorry, shield slam with Armor Smith here on the Doom Guard and take care of Abusive Sergeant and just move on from here.
Yeah, this is a major uphill battle for Ek0p, and you can see he looks a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, he still has Shield Maiden, Shield Block, and Shield Slam in his hand. This is going to be a rough one.
Now, Imp Gang bosses do provide you a lot of repetitive damage, and Bane of Doom is a
spin the wheel.
This is quite literally a potentially game-ending Bane of Doom here. Ek0p, he understands how dangerous Armor Smith is in this matchup too, and this just more of an illustrator has to take care of these threats before he can really do anything about it.
Yeah, I like the sequencing here. Oh, he gets Mal'Ganis.
Oh, geez. Wow, what a roll. This forces the second shield slam from Jab, and the Dr. Boom, such a fortunate draw in this spot, because his play afterwards was Shield Maiden, and then he's just looking at eating damage afterwards. Now it looks like he's got the entire board under control.
Yeah, he was going to be, you know, regulated to using a Ysera to kind of try to, you know, chip his way into the game, and then this Dr. Boom draw just shortens this game's lifespan by so much.
And the Bane of Doom would have shut off the Ysera. He would have had to shield slam his turn. He just actually would have been a turn behind.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that Mal'Ganis coming out of it was huge.
So Ek0p looking, he needs some very, very fortunate Boombot rolls here.
There's
that
one of them.
is okay, but now he's falling low on life. He needs this one to hit one of these Imp Gang bosses. Not the Knife Juggler.
Oh, only for one, though.
That's a big deal.
You see Ek0p kind of laugh a little bit, you know, hooray for small victories
and
here.
Look at how concerned he is with his life total right now. And frankly, I cannot blame him for this, but I think I'd still actually like to see him push. You know, if he pushes 7 damage right now.
Well, the thing is, if you take care of the Dr. Boom, like, how bad do you get punished? You know, there's nothing from Jab that, like, you might not be able to race afterwards, but he might have a problem racing the Dr. Boom.
That's definitely true. I mean, I can't blame him for trading. You know, his life total has to be a concern right now. He does need to protect it in order to keep drawing cards as well. But, you know, you're going to have to end this game.
Yeah. And look at Jab finally going to take a turn off of gaining immense amounts of armor. He just needs, he's looking for, what is it, Ysera Awakens right here, the one that deals 5 damage?
He's not looking for Laughing Sister, that's for sure. So Flame Imp, God, that one's painful right now.
Voidterror can make a pretty big minion here, and both shield slams are gone from Jab.
Now this is the last hurrah for Ek0p. He cannot afford to trade anymore, I think, for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you just got to push as much damage and hope it's good enough. The thing about Ysera, it can win games from unwinnable spots, but it does so slowly in a lot of ways. I mean, it is a 4/12, you know, that brings in, you know, some 3/5s and some great minions and stuff, but they take a while to do so.
Yeah. Is he mindful of Big Game Hunter? I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this Void Terror was caught all the way to the left to avoid it sitting next to the Direwolf Alpha, but he looks like he wants to absorb the Imp as well as the Flame Imp here. Those juggles, he wants him to go upstairs right now.
And he needs the juggles to go upstairs for sure. You know, damage on Ysera, damage on Ysera almost doesn't even matter.
This is actually looking a little bit dangerous for Jab at this point. He doesn't have any utility left.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this 9/6, it's going to be great for Ek0p
Now,
here.
the benefit is he goes up to 25. But, you know, looking at the bright side of things, Ek0p does have a chance, I think, but it's pretty darn slim at this point. I don't even know if this Ysera needs to be pointed at a minion right now. I think you could just pressure Ek0p and force him to start killing your minions. Like, if you attack for 4 and then play the Shield Maiden here, Ek0p has to basically kill both minions.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you there. I think it's actually what Jab's going to do. Yeah, Jab's doing a lot of counting here. Because that also shuts off Ek0p's hero power as well.
Right. You know, the closer you get him to only being able to draw 1 card a turn, and he's having to trade with your minions, like, that's the last spot he wants to be in.
Like Jab's actually going to take care of maybe the Knife Juggler.
Which isn't too terribly surprising. I think, considering his hand. You know, he feels like if all the minion pressure gets relieved,
Oh, he picks up a Nightmare.
That's actually really big. If
Ek0p doesn't kill Ysera here, it's lethal.
Which I don't actually think he can with his board state. He's got to kill Ysera, and he's got to kill the 5/5.
Yeah, I think what he's going to do here is he's going to take care of the 5/5, play the Dr. Boom, attack for 9, and just hope it's good enough. And then Jab's going to, you know, give him the bad news.
Yep. I don't even think Ek0p wants to life tap here, considering that Death Spite is going to leave him lethal in this spot. And he just has to hope that both the Nightmares are whiffs.
Yeah, if he life taps here, it actually makes all of the weapons in Jab's decks lethal. He wants to kill Ysera here?
I mean, again, I can't really blame him, but that's going to do it. Jab does have 5 points of damage in his hand. Ek0p putting up a fight that he could, but his early start was so abysmal, he just did not have a way to fight through it at the end.
Jab's going to show him the execute here that he top decked as well.
Yeah, he's going to show him a couple other things too. There's the Nightmare, and that certainly is a nightmare for Ek0p right now. He's going to fall in game number 1 and feel a little bit of heat now. I mean, Control Warrior is not something that Jab really plays.
Yeah, where does this put you on range for Jab here now? You know, you normally see Hunter, you normally, see Druid, but you haven't seen Control Warrior from him almost all season. You know, where do you go from here?